President Buhari asked Nigerians to reflect over the significance of Easter. Imo State Assembly backs Governor Okorocha's son-in-law as governor. Member representing Lokoja Kogi Federal Constituency Umar Jibril is dead. Welcome to the news at noon on Television Nigerian. I am Cynthia Agbo. President Muhammadu Buhari says he is delighted to join Christians to commemorate this year's Easter celebration. In an Easter message, the president thanked God for the opportunity to celebrate another Easter despite current challenges in the country. Noting that Easter represents the triumph of good over evil and life over death, Buhari says that the period is also a time to show love, forgiveness, compassion, and renewed hope in the grace of God. He explained that the Holy Scripture affirms that happiness and fulfillment in life do not flow from acquiring the best things in life, but in being richer in a relationship with God and fellow human beings. He called on Nigerians to use the opportunity provided by the season to reflect on imbibing the teachings of Jesus Christ. He stressed that terrorism will have no place in the country if Nigerians accommodate one another and place the joy, comfort, and happiness of others above. President Muhammadu Buhari commended Nigerians recognizing and supporting the government's unwavering effort to prevent the spread of conflicts across the country. The Imo State House of Assembly Speaker, Acho Ihim, has revealed that the state's lawmakers are backing Uche Nwosu, the Chief of Staff to Governor Rochas Okorocha, to take over the governorship of the state. The speaker told reporters that Nwosu, who is a son-in-law to incumbent Governor Rochas Okorocha, remains the best and most plausible solution to the issue of disjointed and often abandoned projects hindering the economic development of the state. He read the resolution of the lawmakers during a press conference in Owerri when he led 19 other members of the House under the aegis of Team Nwosu to endorse the governorship ambition of the Chief of Staff. He argued that the decision to ensure that Nwosu takes over from Okorocha was taken in the overall interest of the state. President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, says Christians should emulate Jesus Christ. His call is part of his Easter message to Christians and Nigerians in general. Saraki, in a message which was signed by his special advisor on media and publicity, Yusuf Olaniyonu, notes that Nigerians must remain constant in their efforts to promote unity across all lines. The president of the Senate points out that the season is a time for deep reflection as it marks the sacrifice of Jesus Christ and his victory over death. Saraki calls on Nigerians to unite and pray for the peace of the country. The member representing Lokoja Kogi Federal Constituency, the House of Representatives, Umar Baba Jibril, is dead. The 58-year-old three-time member of the House died in the early hours of Friday in Abuja. One of his political associates, Amuda Dan Suleiman, confirmed the death to the news agency of Nigeria. Until his death, late Representative Umar Jibril was the deputy majority leader of the House. He was also a former Speaker of the Kogi State House of Assembly. The Bayelsa Vigilance Group of Nigeria, VGN, says it has trained no fewer than 270 men to help other security agencies in countering grassroots terrorism and other crimes in coastal communities of the state. The commander, Mr. Tolumobafa Akpel Ibo, said the trainees would also help the police and other conventional security agencies in Bayelsa by providing information to smash criminals in coastal areas with difficult terrain. Report has it that the training was held at Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC Training School, Achi Oji River in Enugu State. It was organized by the House of Representatives Committee on Police Affairs in collaboration with Institute of Corporate Security and Intelligence Studies. Addressing the participants on arrival in the Bayelsa office of VGN on Thursday, Akwe Bibo urged them to help in ensuring that the communities were safe for all Nigerians. He urged them to see themselves as volunteers whose duty was to contribute to the security of the state. During their training, the participants were drilled on counter-terrorism, disaster and risk management, oil spillage, anti-robbery, patrol and guards, anti-kidnapping, gender and child protection. After the break, PDP asks Vice President Osinbajo to prove corruption allegations. Thanks for staying tuned. The People's Democratic Party has challenged Vice President Yemi Osinbajo to name corrupt members of the party and provide proof of his allegations against them. National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Kola Olugbadiyan, said this while reacting to the claim by Vice President that the past PDP-led government destroyed the country's economy. Professor Osinbajo made the claim while delivering a speech during a colloquium in honor of the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, in Lagos. The PDP National Publicity Secretary, who was a guest on the national television, however, faulted the Vice President's allegations. He argued that as a senior advocate of Nigeria, Professor Osinbajo ought to have substantiated his allegation by providing names. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai has lambasted critics of the military, accusing them of being biased in the ongoing war against killer headsmen. The Chief of Army Staff, who was visibly angry to witness the burial of the 11 soldiers killed by bandits on March 20 in Benin Gwari, Kaduna State, wondered how soldiers who put their lives on the line for the country can be accused of being biased. It will be recalled that the soldiers were on Operation Ayem Akpatuma when they were ambushed and killed by the bandits. The soldiers, all privates, include Bamidele Adekunle, Christian Ugochukwu, Adam Mohammed, Suleiman Mubarak, and 6 others, enlisted into the army in 2017. Also among those buried at the Commonwealth Cemetery, Kaduna, was Ahmed Olubode, who enlisted in 2015. The army chief lamented that the young soldiers died barely a year after enlisting into the force. Buratai vowed that those who killed the soldiers must account for their crime. The army boss, while also commiserating with the families of the deceased, assured all Nigerians that the military will not relent until the peace of the country is guaranteed. Moving on to sports, FIFA has chosen 6 African officials for the 2018 World Cup in Russia. There will also be 10 assistant referees from Africa, with no Nigerian official making the list. The referees are from Algeria, Senegal, Guinea, Egypt, Zambia, and Ethiopia. The assistant referees are from 10 other African countries. There will be no British referee at the World Cup this summer for the first time since 1938. Mark Clattenburg was the only Briton on FIFA's long list of officials collated in summer 2016, from which it will choose the final selection for Russia. Clattenburg, who took charge of the Euro 2016 final when Portugal overcame host France, quit his job as a top-flight official in February 2017 to become Saudi Arabia's new head of referees. That's the news on Television Nigerian. Before we go, a take on the headlines. President Buhari asked Nigerians to reflect over the significance of Easter. Imo State Assembly backs Governor Okorocha's son-in-law as governor. Member representing Lokoja Kogi Federal Constituency, Umar Jibril, is dead. Before we go, I'll leave you with this thought. The essence of Easter is to remember that once in a time, humanity was lost but rescued by a benevolent Messiah whose love for us is not in doubt. I am Cynthia Agbot. You have yourself a beautiful day and have a good Friday.